Rising oil prices threaten economic stability. Haven't I been saying this for a while now? All the while, the Fed and everyone else says, and a lot of the supporters of the Fed's verbiage have been saying, no, don't worry. Everything's okay. Wait, soft landing. There's going to be a soft landing. And I've been telling people that that's not reality. You know, I'm here to tell you the raw, unadulterated truth that, hey, maybe to survive what's coming, people need to tighten up their belts a little bit. Need to tighten up their belts a little bit. Maybe to just preserve, not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor, but maybe people might want to conserve a little bit of capital and not play so much because there's about to be a crash landing, folks. Well, let's read this little tidbit here. It says, after dropping below $70 a barrel in early summer, the price of West Texas Intermediate crude has been steadily marching higher. You don't say. Last week, the price breached $90 a barrel for the first time in a year. You know, listen, we've been reading, and they definitely have been vocal about the OPEC plus cuts. But what were those other articles saying that were going against this? Saying, oh, no, it won't go any higher because, number one, we have some new Latin American oil producers. And that meant what? That's all they would say in all of these articles. And I said that I went against the grain, went against them. And I said, no, they're not going to. First of all, they're not going to increase their output for the United States in particular. That's number one. And right now, the United States doesn't have the negotiators. Listen, anytime you go down and to make a deal or you discuss cutting or an increase in whatever commodity it is, you have to be able to negotiate. They don't have the negotiators to do it right now. They just don't. You've seen it. I've seen it. So that's number two. Number three, even if they were going to increase oil output, it would take time and be gradual. How do we know that? Because the U.S. oil people said the same thing in recent articles. What did they say? I mean, you probably read it. I know I read it. They said, hey, listen, we're not going to be increasing anything right now. This was after the articles came out, by the way, where certain entities were saying, don't worry about the rising oil prices. It's all okay because we have some people some oil people in U.S. they're going to turn up production. And then literally the next day they came out with the article and the oil people in the U.S. were like, wait, we don't know why they're saying that. Number one, we're not going to be increasing. Now, if that changed since that time, then it changed. But I'm telling you what was said then. Well, they said this. Well, number one, we're not going to be increasing our oil output. That's number one. Number two, even if we did, it would be gradual. So the effects would not be felt for quite some time, as is logical with how things in life go. Things happen mostly gradually, right? You get a few things here meteorically that happen, but mostly gradually when it comes to something like this. But let's keep going here. It says further increases would negatively impact consumers, especially for gasoline and transportation costs. By the way, subscribe to the channel. We're going to keep doing a good job over here. We're covering the important stuff that everybody else doesn't know. They're going to get caught unaware. They're going to show up at the gas station. That gas is going to be sky high and they're not going to know why. They're going to show up at the stores and they're going to see the food prices going up and they're not going to understand why. But you will. You understand all this. This here is going to affect everything. That's why now all of a sudden rising oil prices threaten economic stability. All of a sudden, right? Because now they can't deny it because very soon, if not now, I see a lot of the people posting that their gas did go up. So, but very soon they're really going to feel the pain. That's why I named the last video, The Pain is Coming or The Pain is Here, something like that. Because it's true. They're going to feel the pain. Let's read this a little bit here. It says further increases would negatively impact consumers. You don't say, especially for gasoline and transportation costs, which then affects what? The transportation costs can obviously affect food prices that the people were complaining about already. They were already complaining about food prices. How many other things is this going to affect, right? But don't worry. The Fed I'm pretty sure they're going to come out and say, everything's okay. Or whatever governmental entity comes out and says, everything's okay. Don't worry about it. Soft landing, folks. You better. This recession. What do you mean recession? This is how they talk. Recession? I mean, maybe down the road, there might be a recession. What? And I'm just sitting there with my hand like this, like these people are absolutely insane. But you know, it's crazy. The regular people love them. They love them. Listen, I don't like liars. I don't at all. I don't like liars. Now, there's solutions to this. Like I said, first of all of this could be altered with a phone call. A phone call, politeness, firmness, but politeness, negotiations to bring Saudi Arabia back over to our side. But the people that are in charge have too much pride to do that. Listen, the people that are in charge soured the relationships with Saudi Arabia. There were a lot of wild comments made, and I'm pretty sure that upset them a lot. A lot of wild comments that were made that really upset a lot of entities in the OPEC Plus. A phone call, apology, it doesn't look. You don't have to say you're sorry. You don't have to apologize like I apologize. No, but there is shows of good faith. There's like things that you can do. Negotiations that you can make to say, hey, listen, it shows we want you to benefit. We want ourselves to benefit. We can all work together. All right. We can smooth things out, but you need the right negotiators. Let's go down here. It says, while the Federal Reserve's rate hikes have helped curb inflation. Really? You mean that's not illusory? You mean things continue to go up, but you negate certain information? I'm pretty sure the people see that and have been feeling that. But okay, well, let me play along with the illusion that the Fed, who created the problem, by the way, with their irresponsibility, by the way. Yeah, I'm holding their feet to the fire. Why not? Somebody has to. But I'll play along for now that they're actually doing a lot to curb inflation. By the way, you do know they have to turn that money printer back on at a certain point. They're doing a lot of damage. A lot. I promise you, when those banks go down, and they're going to go down, when those banks go down because of the commercial real estate issues, better check that out. If you don't know, if those banks they're swaying in the wind, baby. And the people better be careful too, because when those banks go down, there will be bank runs. And a lot of individuals who have advisors will know about it before the regular people, and they will start pulling their capital out and cause the bank run. That liquidity is going to run dry, and people are going to be crying, oh, I can't get my money out the bank. But all it took was watching a little video here and there, reading a little article here and there, and you would know there's a massive commercial real estate issue that stands to take down a lot of banks. Whether that happens or not, who knows? We'll see. We're going by the most likely scenario. But let's keep going. The rising oil prices put the Fed's attempts to engineer a soft landing for the economy in jeopardy. Why is this happening? And is a return to 100 BBL inevitable? Well, OPEC saying that they're going to keep it higher for longer. And I told people they were. I said it was logical. Why would OPEC Plus, if they come out and say, hey, we're going to be cutting production, price is going to go up? Why would they then turn around and then remedy the problem that they are causing when they're wielding it as a weapon? They wouldn't. We'll get to that in a moment, though. It says here, OPEC Plus production cuts tighten markets again. While the SPR release helped lower prices, OPEC Plus responded by cutting production to compensate. Russia and Saudi Arabia reduced output significantly, slowly tightening supplies again. But who chased them into the arms of everyone else when for so long we had a great relationship with Saudi Arabia? This can be solved. They're not taking any actions to solve it. And you got to send the right people to solve the problem. So their recent decision to extend cuts through 2023 surprised markets and rallied prices. But major oil exporting countries will also do what is in their best interest. And that generally involves pushing oil prices as high as possible without triggering a global recession. Well, how much does a global recession matter if they're already transitioning into utilizing their local currencies, which have been highly devalued anyway? And countries have been buying record amounts of gold as well. So let's keep that in mind. That's not for nothing. All of this happening is not for nothing. They're doing it for a reason, right? I know a lot of people don't want to face that reality because they're like, oh no, the dollar. They're stuck on the dollar. Oh no, the dollar's forever. It's an immortal. The dollar is an immortal god that can never fall, never be greatly diminished, when the U.S. has been greatly diminishing the dollar for quite some time. That dollar that used to buy insert asset here in 1970, that same dollar can't buy insert asset now in 2023. You get what I'm saying? Like gold is a long-standing viable currency that holds its value very well. And I'm not a gold channel. I'm not here telling you to get no gold. I'm not telling you anything. I'm just stating the truth. Fiat currency looks like it always was meant to be temporary. So, but people are stuck on that dollar. Okay. All right. I think that they're giving the dollar way more power and control than what it actually has. They're using the dollar. Keyword using, like, you know how someone uses someone else. I don't mean using it like just to transact. They're using the dollar for its value to then extract that value into their local currencies. No one see a problem with this strategy moving into the future, especially with digital asset infrastructures being deployed. You don't see what might be coming. What can you tell the regular people? There's a problem coming. I'm telling you. That inflation keeps going up. That dollar buying power keeps going down. Right? You see what the people are posting. Everyone, I went to the store, spent $100, and they're showing like 3 items. Hey, I don't know what store they're going to, but this is what the people are showing. So that dollar buying power going down. All right, then. So now let's move on here. Because they said, I read an article the other day, and they said OPEC Plus, they might not. Hey, I'm the government. Better listen to me. OPEC Plus might not keep their production cuts for very long. Now, that oil is going to come down. Really? Oh, well, I think I'll take the word of the Secretary General of OPEC over yours. And this is what the Secretary General of OPEC has to say. This is from oilprice.com. Once again, they're doing a great job over there. It says OPEC Secretary General sees oil prices staying high. Oh, you don't say. Oh, so you mean to tell me that the powers in the U.S. wrong again? Oh, okay. All right. Rising global demand for energy and oil is set to keep crude oil prices elevated. OPEC Secretary General Haitham Al-Ghais told the BBC in an interview published on Tuesday. Oil demand is expected to rise around 2.4 million barrels per day this year compared to 2022 by another 2 million BPD next year, Al-Ghais said. Quote, for next year, we see demand continuing to grow north of 2 million barrels per day. Of course, all subject to some of the uncertainties in the global market, unquote, said the top official of OPEC, whose members are currently cutting supply to the market under the OPEC Plus agreement. Why would they violate that? The media in the West, my word, they tell you is up when it's down. They tell you that the sky is dark when it's light. They tell you it's light when it's dark. I mean, they just is out of control at this point. It says, asked if $100 oil could stoke inflation once again. You don't think that was part of the plan? You know, they have a great dislike for the West right now. You don't think? But let's keep going. Al-Ghais told the BBC that it was, quote, important not to look at things in a short-sighted manner. Translation, not answering that question because you already know the answer to that, right? Unquote. It says, the supply cuts from OPEC Plus, including Saudi Arabia's 1 million BPD extra cut, have tightened the oil market in recent weeks and sent oil prices to as high as $95 per barrel Brent last week, the highest level so far this year. This week, oil prices have tumbled due to the rising U.S. dollar and concerns about higher for longer interest rates. OPEC is more concerned about the underinvestment in the oil sector. Yeah. They just said a lot with saying a little. Al-Ghais told the BBC, adding that the calls for a halt in investments are dangerous. They just told you everything you need to know about one of the key reasons why they're doing this. Is that going to change? If the circumstances don't change, then and the minds involved don't change, then why would this scenario change? Let's go here. All right. Let's go here. This is from Watcher.Guru. U.S., Germany, and European Union react to the BRICS expansion. All right. What do you mean they react? Western powers like the U.S., Germany, and European Union reacted to the BRICS expansion this month. They're going to say, they're going to say what they always say. I know it before I even read this. Oh, it's nothing. We're not concerned. Let's see if I'm right. Firstly, the White House press secretary. Yeah, let's hear from the press secretary. Karine Jean-Pierre revealed that America will not stop other countries they can't from choosing partners to trade with. There's not much that they can do right now about what's going on. She stressed that the U.S. is trading with all major countries and will not interfere in their internal economic manners. Listen, my apologies, everyone. I need to hear from an astute premier economic mind on this. No disrespect. I need to hear from someone. This is who they should be sending out to make this kind of statement. I need to hear from a premier global economic mind that can answer questions on the spot and knows everything that's going on with the world right now. And I just don't feel like a press secretary has that. They have what has been given to them, and that is it. That's just not satisfactory at this time, in my humble opinion. It says here, she stressed that the U.S. is trading with all major countries and will not interfere in their internal economic matters. I just translate that as we don't have their ear, so there's nothing we can say anyway. And it's true. They don't. It says, quote, U.S. policy does not ask our partners. Let's skip that part. That they're saying a bunch of nothing, and I don't have time for it. Secondly, it says, I don't tolerate nonsense, people. Just know I don't. I'm here for the truth, or give me some raw information. Give me raw data. Let me interpret things for myself. That's how I look at it. Secondly, it says Germany's foreign minister, they're in a bad spot, Germany. So let's see what they have to say. Minister Annalena Baerbock revealed that the country is not at all worried about the new BRICS expansion. They got a lot of things to worry about. This is not one of them. But I'll tell you what, those cuts are definitely going to... Germany is in a bad spot. Look it up. So she expressed, and shout out to everybody that is in Germany. A lot of people that I know that I have good relationships with are in Germany. So shout out to them, and hopefully they're doing well. So she expressed that every country has the right to forge trade deals according to their national interest. Of course, there's nothing that they can do. They're not in the driver's seat. And BRICS is going after and establishing relationships with countries that have huge swath of commodities in Africa. That's strategic. They're saying, hey, we're going to give you some grain. And seemingly no strings attached. Here's some grain. You don't think those African countries are going to reciprocate when there's a massive amount of rebellion going on everywhere? That's significant. Everywhere. Come on now. It says here, and the United States knows this. They want it for reasons we'll discuss at another time. It says, quote, every country must keep asking itself. If you think not, then look at the investments across the world from United States big money. Look at the investments. They can make money in the United States and they can make money abroad as well. And you might say, well, they want US dollars. They can always take that other fiat currency and just transfer in US dollars easily. So all the money is the same, really. Right? You have $250 million worth of yen and transfer that into dollars or DNR, whatever you want. That is so easy at this point. So if the United States is not producing very much, if the United States is not a moneymaker, if they're over-regulating everything, then where do you think the big money wants to play? The big money is playing and wants to play outside the United States. I mean, I think for years people could see that coming. And now with the United States squeezing out a lot of the new small businesses, they've had no choice but to build elsewhere and build relationships elsewhere because the regulatory entities have been extremely harsh. You think Wall Street liked it when the SEC just went after them? You think they like that? Come on now. It says here, well, I'm done with this article. This article isn't telling me much. They all just are pretty much saying they don't have any control, or, they're not saying much. It's so disappointing to me what comes out of the Western entities. It's just very disappointing to me. So we're back to mortgages again, right? Once again, in the United States, the powers that be said everything's okay. Soft landing. Soft landing. Got it. Next 48 months, we're going to tell you soft landing, even though everything's crashing and burning around you. Soft. What? Get it straight. Soft landing. Yeah, I know. I like to have a little bit of fun. This is from NewYorkPost.com. As decades high mortgage rates shake up the real estate landscape. Oh, you don't say. Oh, man, these people are in some trouble. I'll tell you right now. Financial experts on the Ramsey Solutions team have provided advice for homeowners to navigate the volatile markets. Oh, they're going to navigate? There's somewhere to navigate to? All right. Quote, if you're out of debt, and you've got emergency funds, prices aren't going to go anywhere but up, even with interest rates going up, unquote. Ramsey Solutions founder Dave Ramsey said on a quote, Fox and Friends, unquote, panel Friday. Quote, so if you get an interest rate you don't like, you obviously can refinance later. Bro, oh my word, they've been telling a lot of people that. Oh, there's a negative to that, isn't it? Right? Some of you real estate agents, let me know. There's a negative to that. It says, and get back out of it. Really? But the housing market is just stalled. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I listen to a lot of, I think, brilliant minds in real estate. I think there's a negative to that. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's what I mean. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know. There's a negative to that. It says, quote, and man, we got Bloody Sunday with the student loans kicking back in on Sunday, and Christmas is bearing down on us, unquote. Yeah, and people maxed out their credit cards too. You read about that? It says he continued, quote, so it is time to get on a budget, get on a plan, unquote. I'm telling people this now, not that they were going to listen anyway, because in the West it's just been a culture of being excessive for a long time. Just very excessive, spending money everywhere and not properly saving capital, investing it, say however you want to do. I don't care. Doesn't matter. But at least you would have something. A lot of people have nothing. They save nothing. I blame the school system. I'm dead serious. I know I sound like my parents and people before them. I know. But it's the truth. I blame the school system. They don't teach the people anything real. How to save. You know. Like investing wise. They go light with what? Oh, this is the stock market. What about commodities? They don't teach them how to budget. This is how you save money. No. They just make them workers. My humble opinion. Just my humble opinion. They're just producing workers. Just my humble opinion. You could disagree with it. I'm fine with that. Says the average rate on the benchmark 30-year home loan reached its highest level since the year 2000, increasing from 7.19% last week to 7.31% this week, according to the latest data by Freddie Mac. What's more, the average rate for 15-year rate mortgages rose to 6.72% from 6.54% last week. Quote, if you're a millennial, you're Gen Z, you're hopeless right now. Holy smokes. Why, bro? You made me say bro. Hold on a second. He's letting off on everybody. Wait, you're a little too harsh, sir. It says, you're hopeless right now. You're feeling cynical. No, you're the cynical, pessimistic one. You know, I hope that they keep their heads up. They're going to survive and find some way to survive. There's maybe a few wise ones out there. Just only ones that you can hope the best for are the wise ones. This is, quote, the Ramsey Show, unquote, co-host George Kamel also said Friday. It says, quote, so I want to give them some hope that it's possible for them, but you got to put away the FOMO because your parents are saying, quote, you're throwing away money on rent. Get a house, get a house, get a house. And you're broke, unquote. Who is he talking to? Like, who is this wait a minute. Is this a personal experience? Who's saying that? Wait a minute. What? All right. You know, I mean, what we've seen is a trend of people moving back home with their parents. That's what we've seen. I haven't read a lot of data. I haven't seen a lot of data or read a lot of articles and research on parents telling the children to buy a house. You know, there's been more so they can't afford anything and they're just moving back home with their parents. Look that up. It says, quote, you've got taxes, you've got insurance, HOA, PMI, and the letters go on. So before going to buy a house, make sure you're debt free with an emergency fund. We want you to be a homeowner. We don't want that home to own you, unquote. That sounds good. I love these little phrases they come up with. It says the median home sales price was $374,975 for the 4 weeks ending September 17th, up 3.4% year over year. Let's see if we have anything. There's so much news going on. Okay, we're going to end off with this. Did you see the flood, the tsunami of bankruptcies? Let's just run through a couple of them. They said it was coming. I said it was coming. It's inevitable. Interest rates going up. It's crushing everything in sight. All right. Crushing everything in sight. Lending is tighter. It had to be. So this is from Reuters. International Longshore and Warehouse U.S. Dock Workers Union files bankruptcy. Next one. This is from thestreet.com. It says, wait. It says, essential retailer files surprise Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Who was that? It says dentist, Smile Direct Club. It seems that the same might be true of dentistry, as Smile Direct Club, a popular alternative to braces, has filed for bankruptcy. You think that's it? No, it's not. The tsunami of bankruptcies is happening, folks. They're not going to talk about this very much on the mainstream. This one here is from the sun.com, and it's titled Bankrupt Airlines, Western, Global. I don't know why they made a title like that. Let's just read here. It says all three airlines reported losing hundreds of millions of dollars while operating through the redacted, the redacted. Airlines generally struggled through 2020 to 2021. That I don't care about. Let's just get to what the names of these places are. Western Global, the Florida-based Western Global airline, has been going through bankruptcy proceedings. Right. A lot of entities are. Who else? Let's see. Aero. I don't even know how to pronounce this. IAERO, the North Carolina-based company with a fleet of 39 Boeing 737s filed for bankruptcy to clear its liabilities. Number 3, SAS, a Scandinavian airline company, evaluated final bids as a deadline to apply to take on the company's debts passed in late September. All of this is it's going down, folks, for lack of a better word. This is from fiercebiotech.com. Infinity comes to an end. It says Chapter 11 bankruptcy filing after a merger with EMI Pharma was unsuccessful. Infinity Pharma has filed for bankruptcy, just as executives had warned when the deal fell through. So the tsunami is now taking place. I mean, it was already occurring, but now it's really kicking into high gear. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? If you made it this far, please, I hope you subscribe. We'll continue to try to do good on this channel and work real hard over here. So I hope you'll join us in the future. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, folks, let's get to the money.